Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, at least I'm feeling a bit better all throughout these past few days. Still feeling a bit underneath the weather, kind of a little bit just on rough, but we do at least have some pretty cool news to go and talk about when it comes to the PlayStation 5. Brand new PlayStation 5 features, and as well, something that it looks like Sony themselves are actually working on to come up with some pretty cool formats and pretty cool changes to further the future of the PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 5 controller. So we have some pretty new things to go and talk about, and also these are some of those features I myself would love and will love whenever they are fully added to have a chance to go utilize. So a lot of stuff to go talk about, a lot of things to bring up, and as always, I would love to hear your thoughts and comments down below. And as well, if any of you guys are brand new, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on as well for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway. We have the Amazon links down below. We have the Twitter and Twitch room down below if you guys want to follow. We also do have the Weeble and also the Target links down below too as well. So check those on out. Link down below, and let's dive into the video. So as you guys probably know from a lot of these other various videos, the PlayStation 5 controller pretty much is one of the most sought after unique features for the PlayStation 5. Adaptive feedback when it comes to the rumbles, when it comes to the actual controller itself, when it comes to the internals, when it comes to just everything. Like, it's a pretty good controller. But now we actually are now seeing new reports that Sony's new controller concepts could be changed even more and even now a little bit better. So with this, Sony's fascinating new PlayStation 5 controller concept could really go and shake up video games as of this, literally. So we weren't particularly in love with the design of Sony's PS5 DualSense controller when it first emerged in 2021, which I'm kind of surprised on because I never actually had any issues with it. You guys can maybe let me know if you guys did. I kind of feel like this was pretty much just the PS4 controller and slightly a little bit better and slightly more fine-tuned. I didn't really see too many folks out there who ever had issues with this at all. But it's won us over the last couple of years after proving to be certainly comfortable and ergonomic. Very much agreed. I do think I prefer at this point my PS5 controller over my Xbox controller. Although, at least for me, the Xbox 360 controller will always be one of the token controllers of my life. And if a new patent is anything to go by, it could soon offer an even more immersive gaming experience. Sony has patented now a new controller featuring analog sticks with built-in force feedback. Now, this could react to the game you're playing, with the sticks becoming harder or easier to move depending on the game, or even offering extra vibration on top of that. So let's go and kind of do a little bit of a discussion on this one since I have my PS5 controller on here. This is very nifty. Now, I always say when it comes to controllers, that's probably one of the bigger things out there of what could be better for modern gaming. So it's pretty obvious by how they worded it, but it would be essentially like, hey, you see how easy it is to move this down your left, right, up, down, etc. It would just be in the same boat of it would be really hard then to move this to the far right with a lot more proper like tension and basically just maybe like it'd be like really hard to go move your controller to the right or to left or up and down, or possibly maybe even easier. Maybe like let's say you're in a weird game and you have to, who knows, I'm trying to think of a good example, like maybe you're gliding in the wind, so that maybe it even has even less feedback on top of it, so your character's like flopping all over the place, or, you know, maybe motorcycle, you're trying to move, stuff like that, it's a little bit more freeform. Like, I'm sure you guys can probably come up with some other concepts in my head that are wide, like it to be good for really hard tension feedback or really soft tension feedback, obviously depending on which, when, wow, or how. So that's kind of cool. I love the concept of this because it does go and also combine on the usual adaptive triggers on the thumbsticks, where there is different times where if you have to push down harder, or there's different types of tension right over here when it comes with the controller itself. So it is kind of like you are somewhat limited when it comes to what and how you can optimize these controllers, because there is only so many buttons and so many like buttons and stuff like that. Like if you guys remember back in the day when we had a chance to go and click into this in the analog to like let people sprint and stuff, it did technically add another 2 controllers into your controller itself. So now that we're actually having like these like halfway measures on these, or as well also having various like mid-tier features on this, intentions, it does at least add new features and more dynamic to the controller itself. So it's kind of a big thing for this one. So as spotted by Metro, the filing describes how non-Newtonio fluids, never heard of those before, could create hydraulic resistances in the analog sticks. Non-neutrinion fluids can change veracity under stress thanks to Wikipedia. And examples of such liquids include ketchup, toothpaste, custard, and blood. Surprisingly enough, none of which we hope Sony is planning to pump into a DualSense controller anytime soon. Just imagine your controller being filled with toothpaste or custard. In the patent, Sony provides the example of a car traveling uphill, resulting in resistance of the joystick becoming greater and gamers having to apply more force. Now, I'm actually kind of okay with this, and I think my description of like what I showed you guys pretty much made sense, but it does seem like they just want to add more extra tension in the bottom line and using certain types of scientific liquids that hopefully would never dry up or have issues and mess it on up. Now, I do think their car example is probably the most perfect example with it, mainly because like I said, if you use the analog sticks or like the triggers too as well, like that just you have a little extra tension. It's a little harder to make it happen and be fully like optimized. And at the end of the day, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So I'm down with this. I like more potential features. I like more potential vibes. And I do think at the end of the day, having just a more wider range of potential stuff for your consoles, I think it's very nice, at least for me. So you guys can actually see some of these like little patent pictures over here, as you guys can maybe go and see. It does seem like this is the actual analog itself, like the thumbstick, and then it looks like it's more in the internal that we have to worry about. So like use this example right here, or really right above me, or right below me, right there. So it kind of would probably either film with this like some sort of liquid, possibly maybe some type of internal. We're not entirely sure as of right now with these new features, but this will kind of allude towards the kind of big part two of this, is that Sony themselves have gone on record stating that they do want to go and have a PlayStation 5 Pro controller, or as well, they want to have a PlayStation 5 like new iteration controller. We have heard rumors / somewhat official confirmations of both these happening. So I would almost be surprised if maybe, say, the PlayStation 5 Pro would maybe have this as a new, like, kind of bigger, more immersive region for folks to maybe upgrade from their PS5 to PS5 Pro, or as well, this could also maybe be a combination with the PlayStation 5 Pro controller. Because in theory, you don't really need to have this type of feature to play a game. We've seen a lot of this pretty evident with a lot of PlayStation 4 games still getting pretty popularized and doing pretty well in terms of, like, you can still play the game. You don't need all the features. Like Ghost of Tsushima is a good example. It does add a lot more to the gameplay, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't really fully seem like a lot of this stuff is fully needed to play the game. So it's just more of an extra, like, higher class position in case you guys want it. So for me, it does seem like maybe Sony would want to utilize this for their upcoming Pro controllers or PS5 Pro themselves for their next future iterations. But we've been seeing a lot more patents and a lot more research coming out from these PlayStation 5 controllers. So it does add a lot more extra merit and does add a lot more extra stuff going on, which I like to see. So they also said this isn't the first controller upgrade we've heard about, as I just mentioned over here, via the medium of a Sony patent. Earlier this year, Sony filed for a design including a collapsible control stick. This means the joystick could retract into the body of the controller itself, allowing for a more never heard this word before, and potentially more comfortable design. I would also always say it too, because I've been traveling a lot. It'd also probably be very good for folks who are traveling or want to travel as well, mainly because that would allow like more compact. You don't have it like perpetually being held down against like a wall or a ceiling or whatever. I think it's kind of cool. As with all the pens, whether either design will ever see the light of day remains to be seen, but they are certainly intriguing. We can't help but wonder if they're offering us a glimpse in the next generation of DualSense. If a PlayStation 5 Pro, which I was kind of covering before, and that is my guess. I think it'd probably be more on the PS5 Pro if we had a guess for it too as well. That with a Pro controller would probably get sales, and I do think that would be my main go-to. Or as well, just maybe their own standalone extra controller, especially if we're seeing, say, PSVR 2 coming out and all of that. So basically, time will tell what's on the way. But Sony will certainly be on a roll with its new accessories of late. And just last week, the company revealed a brand new iOS controller too as well, which we've covered and talked about, called the Backbone, which we're also trying to integrate into the also mobile market. So give me your thoughts and comments down below. I do think this seems cool. I am pretty intrigued on all this stuff, and I would like to go and hear your thoughts and comments on it. And as well, if any of you guys are brand new, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. As well, for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway, we have the Amazon links down below, the Target links, keep on checking those on out, and the Twitter and Twitch stream. And I appreciate you guys all so much for watching in the first place.